Yo, what's up, people? We're here today doing a torso day, and we got a very special guest. He's pumping out right now because he doesn't want to look small on camera. We got Joe, Mr. Hypertrophy Coach, the one and only. He flew into town to help me get through prep. So today we're doing some torso. He's gonna be taking me through some stuff, making sure I'm doing things properly. And yeah.
He looks pretty hypertrophied. I think we're good. It's fine too.
Just fine tuned. We're just what do you call it, toning today. So
yeah, we're in the toning.
Getting it done. We're toning. So
yeah,
let's get it. That's just a little bit too. I think enough for 3. I'll check my notes. Oh shit.
When in doubt, always go up. Otherwise, not even for like being stronger or like whatever, just so you don't have to do more cardio on accident.
I love that.
Because like worst case scenario, you do less reps. You're like, all right, still got the job done. Still have to give me extra.
So I'm still feeling pretty good. So I'll probably do 2 for all the first.
Yeah.
For this and then that. And then maybe 1 for the next 2. I listen to a lot of country rap lately.
Nice.
Countries and with rap. That, and I think this is called punk rock. Wait, I'll play it real quick. Is this punk rock? I don't know rock genres that well. I listen to it, but I don't know. I think that's punk rock, yeah, or emo rock or something.
Like punk or punk rock would be technically. I don't honestly know all the rock genres that well either. Like sometimes when I like a sound, I have to like look up what it technically is. Like, what genre is this exactly?
Now I don't feel bad.
Because I think, you know, it's old, but like back in like the 90s, you didn't have like, you had like 2 genres. It was like either like rock or like alternative. Like that was kind of it. I guess you had like hard rock, you know, something you have like hard or heavy or whatever. That was like it. Now I feel like there's probably like 10 different genres. There's more than 10 different genres. It's like a bajillion.
In school, my first introduction to rock was like, well, my mom listened to it on the radio, but like me personally, it was like the old wrestling games. That was probably one big one. And then that game that had the
Guitar Hero?
Guitar Hero, yeah. I knew all the rock songs from that, yeah.
Hey, Halo. Okay.
there anything Joe's changed his opinion about regarding hypertrophy training over the last 5 years?
Changed my opinion about, man, I thought longer about that. 5 years. I think one of the best things, I think we frame things now differently, is how we think about like the hypertrophy process. I think it's good, like some good physiology people, you know, we now have the idea more that it's about just stimulating, you know, protein synthesis as opposed to like breakdown and recovery, which really comes down more to managing fatigue. I think then obviously just this idea of we need this recovery process or repair process, which people still repeat because obviously there's a component of breakdown. So I think that's a good, it kind of changes my framework of the way I look things a little bit, like managing fatigue more so than waiting for recovery to take place. And it makes sense from a standpoint too, where I would look at some things in the past from like a frequency standpoint, some things that would work, like meaning at times, like certain programs where people would even do things every day and still progress. And if you really think that it has to be like this whole repair process has to occur, it's like, how would every single day ever work? I'm not saying to program anything every single day. But that's probably the first thing that comes to mind, where I think it's, you know, physiology's done a good job, I think, of explaining some things that people have seen. Because you would have told somebody that in the past, training something every day or every other day even, it's like, oh, it's too much, you need like a whole week and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, and again, if it was, you know, this growth had to occur or whatever, this repair had to occur, it seems like, again, why would this change that much? So when you think about in the terms of managing fatigue and for people that should actually do it, then I think it's a good thing to kind of have a little bit of a shift to focus on. The only problem with that is it's like people don't look at now as like fatigue management isn't an issue for everybody. No. So that's the funny thing from my mindset, because I've seen it all. I mean, I spent my whole life working in commercial gyms, and it's like 90% of people, like, they need more fatigue. It's kind of a joke, kind of not really. It's like they need more stimulus, you know. So a lot of people like that are overly fearful of fatigue have no business being overly fearful of fatigue. But the cool thing is you get to people at Terrence's level, people that get closer and closer to that point of diminishing returns, then those are the people that should think about it. But you don't need that.
No, I agree. Yeah, I mean, 100% agree with that. You know, it's funny. Like I know a small amount about like the physiology and things like that, but I more so know like the history of bodybuilding. And it's funny how short our memories are, because obviously, like, you know, pre-90s area, maybe even 80s, people trained a lot more frequently, you know, at that point. And like I follow these guys who are historians, and they believe it changed once the introduction of PEDs got really, really heavy inside of bodybuilding. Yeah. Because they could handle more volume, they could recover a lot faster. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that would hide any gaps in their training, you know? Because if you look at some of the older programs, like you said, like there was push-pull legs, there was upper lower, there was things like that, you know? So it's an interesting full circle moment.
We'll never have like a good study on it, but I think the most interesting study in the world would be comparing the magnitude of the effect. So it's like you can still grow muscle on a bro split. I mean, I don't know most people that would ever really recommend that for the most part now at this point in time. But I really do wonder what the magnitude effect of, let's say we pull something, it doesn't even have to get too nitty gritty with 2 or 3 times a week, but something twice a week versus once a week, and just see what the difference would actually be like at the end of the year, especially if you equated things. I mean, I would have to, obviously, I'd be the first person to say twice versus once as far as frequency would be more, but I just wonder how much more. Because like that's the whole thing too, where it's
they've done no shorter studies recently on it, but I don't know the details. Yeah. Yep. Get up there. Come on, boy. That hit me real quick. I thought I was gonna do 5. Oh.
That's actually like the trademark of a good profile. Is it like it doesn't feel as heavy until it like feels heavy? Because it's like, because you don't realize it's like matching you perfectly the whole way through the range of motion. So like part of it feels so perceptibly light because most of the time your brain is used to like sticking points. Like if you do a lateral raise, like every rep is like, oh, that's hard there, easy. Oh, that's hard there, easy. So you're like getting that sensation of hard, where if you lift up this, it's like, oh, it feels pretty smooth. But then because it's like equally challenging the whole way through, you really like, you accumulate it so much faster, where it's like, oh, it feels good. Then like the last rep is like that, where it's like, oh gosh, millimeter. You know, when you get those grinders, but obviously all the insertions in the same spot, and these are up here.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously if this whole thing's moving in that plane, it's gonna line up with that stuff better. So the more tucked you are, definitely the more upper you're gonna get. The nice part is when you're just like slightly tucked like you are, like you're getting everything. Like that's the whole point. Like the great thing is like you really don't need like how many exercises are you doing for chest now?
2, so 4 a week, 2 sessions. Yeah.
In reality, you only need 2. Most, I mean, obviously, there's no wrong. Like, it's nice to have an A/B rotation, so that's kind of like a separate argument. But if you really think about like from here to here, and like a machine like this is technically everything, you know. And I think there is
because that's what I thought. Because like before I got this machine, and before like a lot of my elbow stuff, I kind of rethought my programming.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, because I was having really bad elbow issues with the piece just because of the angle of the handles.
Yeah.
So once I found out I can get a lot of upper chest with this, I just decided to do this exercise. But then I was debating. I was like, I just have a fly in there now, and then
I had merit too anyway.
And then the next training day, I don't know if this makes a lot of sense, but I've been doing 1 press and then 1 shoulder press. What do you think about people saying that the shoulder press is working the medial, the side delt?
Is or isn't?
A lot of people saying, oh, if you do that, you don't have to do anything else.
It's working half of it.
Okay.
And now again, side delt is also a visual thing. Okay. You know, so again, if you really want to determine like side delt, because it's slightly different from person to person, but it's the same reason no one would ever say like an overhead press is good for the rear delt. So it's like there's literally, and that's all, like people want to argue that, but that's when people get too. I did a whole long one on this because the way they even do like internal moment arm stuff, they just create arbitrary divisions. So they pick one. There used to be the delt. There's stuff that had literally like one plane, you know, one line of pull. Because actually you have to have a line of pull relative to what you're actually doing. The plane you're in. You have to establish a plane, have a line of pull. If you only have one line of pull that encompasses like a whole fan muscle, it's going to miss stuff. So somebody figured that out at some point in time, and they made 3 lines. So it's like, okay, this is going to be for the front, this is going to be for the side, this is for the rear, whatever fancy terms you want to use. But that still doesn't encompass everything. So when people will say, oh, well, internal moment arm works a lot, you know, when you're doing overhead press because of whatever, like it's the whole way you can determine like what can work is it's just basic physics. It's like if something's what's above it. So again, like if can I do an overhead press with my lat?
Well, you're missing like half of the
so there like everything above the axis. It's the same thing. So it's the reason I could ask any like I don't want to say kid, but I could ask like a 15-year-old. It's like, oh, can my lat do an overhead press? I'd be like, no, why not? It's down here pulling this way. So all the stuff that's below this half of the axis pulls that way, and all that stuff up here. And then people look at EMG stuff, and not that EMG is bad, but EMG always has a bias to short. So whenever a muscle is short, it always shows a high level of activity. Okay. And I joke, it's like being in a low gear. So you could have 100% brain power, but you're in first gear as opposed to 6th gear. Okay. It's probably, honestly, I put a lot of time and effort into that analogy. If somebody steals me, I got a whole post going for that. But that's probably the most. If like the physiology will limit like speed, you have like the same RPMs going, and you could have like the same what you're sending to your brain, but the gear is literally like there's a physiological thing with muscle length. Okay. And so anyway, the tricky part where EMG will say side delt works a lot is because your side delt's short the whole time. Okay. And most people can't get their head wrapped around it because like people think of side delt short like this, but if you externally rotate and you short your side delt, it's this. So if you press like this the whole time you're doing this, and you'll see some people say, oh, behind the neck is the best for a side delt. It's even shorter. It's as short as it can get. So the whole time your brain's got like that muscle. If you ever put a muscle that's as short as it can go and do anything, it just freaks out. You know, and if you ever had it at the point where you actually get to the point you get active insufficiency and it can actually spasm, it's because your brain is like, well, as hard as it can, and the muscle physiology, like it's got no more cross bridging, it can't overlap anymore. And so that's where you get some, and again, EMG stuff is great. Someone's going to say, you said EMG is bad. No, but it's biased to the short.
You have to understand the limitations of that. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So in there, smooth. Oh, conservative.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. This kid, he's not a kid. He's a new pro. He started his own.
Eric's getting old.
got some great.
Is all of a sudden a kid. I started saying, I don't know when I started saying that, but I say that sometimes. I think when I was like 35 and someone's like 29, I'm like, this kid. And I'm like, oh, man,
actual kid.
not really a kid.
So he's a grown man,
Yeah,
but
I'd say that to Carol sometimes. She'd be like, I thought you said I was a kid. And I was like, he's younger than me. He's a kid.
well, yo, he made a clothing brand, so I wanted to wear his stuff today.
Yeah.
How's the strength feeling this far in, bro?
Everything's great, man. Like, I have seen more plateaus in the last prep. I was gonna tell you, like, so I don't know, I can't just sit and follow plan. I always have to try stuff.
Yeah.
So this past couple of weeks I was like, well, with my arm training, normally on the first day I'll do the prime single arm, and on the second day I would do like the incline curls. But for like a couple of weeks I was like, oh, let me just do the prime every single session.
Yeah.
And I noticed not only did I plateau, that I got a lot weaker by like 10 pounds.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
So now I'm going back to what I was doing before, and I'll see how that goes. But I found that interesting. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why that would happen, but that's what I've been seeing the past couple of weeks.
Ooh. Interesting.
Yeah, that's better.
Adam B. Boy, I hate doing these names. Adam B. Do you know the rest of your name? What's something that people overvalue during training and something people undervalue?
Undervalue is tracking stuff, progressive overload, and really just being diligent with that. I mean, I think it's just looking around with the questions that people ask, and some of the things that people hyper fixate on. This is why I'll have things like, some of my position hasn't changed a whole lot on some stuff, because I always have this idea of do as little as possible to produce maximal results. And that covers a whole lot. And then people are like, well, what the heck does that mean? Just tell me the exact amount. People want the exact amount because they want to feel like control. It's like the joke I say, it's like paint by numbers as opposed to being an actual artist. So let's have some general concepts and principles. Good place to start. But then from there, apply it and see what works best. Because I'll have people that progress better with X amount of sets versus this amount of failure as opposed to that amount of failure. And I'm not married to any of it. Test it, and then you document it, you write it down. And so most things where there's like perceivably, is it this amount or that amount or whatever, try it, document it, and then see what progresses best for you. And most people just don't control for enough stuff. So it's, you actually want to see if I change one variable, you know, what's actually happening. You have to control for a lot of things. So everybody should be tracking everything in their workout. And even if I joke, you don't even know what you're going to do with it, just do it. Because the longer you're doing it, then you'll figure out kind of what's more important. Overvalue, oh, man, that's tough. I probably have to think about that one for a little bit. I mean, I guess an easy one on that might be splits. Right now, everyone's like, and honestly, just in general, what's written on paper. I mean, I only know, this is why I'm here. I only know one thing. I've been in gyms, like, as my main hobby. When I was 15, I was training 3 times a day because I'm an idiot. And then from there, I took training to my profession. So I literally was spending like 70 to 80 hours a week in a gym my whole life. And looking around, like, what is the difference in how people produce results? And I'm aware of genetics, I'm aware of drugs, probably more than most people watching. But how people do things is by far a much bigger impact on your physique than the specifics of what people do. And so everyone's hyper fixated on, like, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, the exact right number, the exact right rep in reserve, the exact right split. And again, I'm not saying that doesn't matter at all. But again, if you're like, as people are like stepping over dollars to pick up pennies, and then they're arguing about those pennies as well too on the way down, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So yeah.
No, I agree. The best thing this guy taught me is how to think, not what to think. You know what I mean? And like, in terms of like, real quick, because he covered everything mostly. But like, to figure out if something works, it really doesn't take that long. Like, you can check it for maybe a month. You know, that's 4 sessions, 4 weeks. You should have an idea of what's working and what's not, you know?
Like make sure you can see all that, all close up. Like this right in here.
Yep.
Watch this as it goes. Watch this as it goes. Balls up, balls up, balls up. If you're a meathead and a nerd, that stuff is just entertaining you. What muscles do. Track out tissue balling up. See more of that connective tissue. Fashion stuff.
Science experiment right here.
Let's take a video. You guys send me that clip. I'm just going to send that to Tom.
That's good work right there, boy.
Good work. Oh, man. Oh, that's heavy. Oh, that's nice. Just tall enough for it. Oof. Easy. That's nice. That's really nice. Always learning. That'll be the last one. Next question by Shira Cardona, 5788. If you could remove one thing from bodybuilding culture as it stands, what would you remove?
If I could remove it all across the board, I would take PEDs out. I think honestly every pro would probably be on board with it. If you could guarantee, like, yeah, because I think everybody would be in the same spot they're at now. And if we hadn't known what we'd already, we'd be just as enamored with the physiques, whatever, 20 pounds smaller than they are right now, and everybody would live longer and be happier.
That is a good point. No, I get you. Yeah, without you're saying, like, if there was no knowledge of it to begin with. No, yeah.
The PDs never existed and could never exist, and no one could ever have them. Take it out. The sport, everybody would just be still as enamored with the physiques. Everybody would be healthier.
100%. Yeah.
Most pros too don't talk about, like, one, it's not healthy. They just do it because they just want to compete at the highest level. No one wants to spend the money on it. So it's I think that would be my one thing if I could.
That's a pretty damn good one, honestly. Yeah, I was having trouble thinking. That takes the cake, yeah. Because you think about it, man, you look at the guys back in the day, like Eugene Sandow. Obviously, he was known for his physique, but like today, he wouldn't even. People would say he didn't have a good physique at all, But he went around the world being famous because of his physique, You guys don't know Eugene Sandow. He basically created bodybuilding.
We wouldn't have to have those conversations about natty or not. That'd be so great. And then people could just be sad when they realize how important genetics are, when people still look ridiculous.
Honestly. Yo, Hunter, if you could remove one thing from bodybuilding, what would you remove?
Like the game games.
Anything? The fact that all of our news and coverage is in the hands of random YouTubers.
I get that, yeah.
It look like real grainy, good say.
I never feel lean enough, honestly.
What's that?
I said I never feel lean enough, honestly. I don't know if you remember Matt, but like he was really a stickler for conditioning. I feel like having that at an early age has just kind of skewed my whole vision of everything.
That, and then I feel like last time you competed against like modern day Andreas Munzer too. People are like, he could be in better shape. Like, no, he couldn't be in better shape. This guy's just about to die. He's in such good condition.
No, yeah, exactly, man. I was like, I saw Nick. I like Nick. I don't have an issue with Nick, but Nick was saying, I thought he could have been leaner at the last two shows. I was like, dude, I was pretty fucking lean, bro.
Peeled.
Holy shit. So, this is life, I guess. Yeah, I saw some pictures of him recently. He's looking crazy. Come on, get up. Yep. Good move. All right, that was the workout for today. Oh wait, Joe's going up again. He beat me on it.
I'm gonna assert my dominance.
There you go.
I've been sandbagging the whole workout. No one will remember the other exercises, just to finish with more plates on here. It's got no more carbs, time to go.
Goals.
There we go.
Ooh.
Yeah, it feels nice.
It feels a lot better moving the seat a little bit more forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last question. Who would win in a fight, Harry Potter or Anakin Skywalker?
Man. Probably Anakin. You know, he's real and he's willing to go like dark.
Yeah, he is a lot more brutal than Harry.
Potter even ever said Avada Kedavra? I don't think so. His only move is Expelliarmus. Expelliarmus! You know, Anakin, we know that
He murders. He's a kid.
yeah, he killed.
He's the youngins.
Tries to kill his son. You know, he doesn't hold back.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so I would go with Anakin too. Yeah. Harry has more diversity, but he's not willing to go the distance. Anakin clears. All right, guys, that is it for the day. I think this is the format we're gonna do. We'll answer 3 to 5 questions every single training session because I think it's fun. I think it helps us communicate. And until next time, peace.
Yeah.
Do it last week.
Everybody's doing it.
Any tips?
Man, it looks good. First off, it looks really good, man. Seriously, look at your hands look bigger for sure. So like, I mean, legs just look like complete, like nuts now. The hands really match well. Everything looks bigger. So that's good. Bigger in shape.
Bigger foot.
Yeah. No, everything's good, man. I mean, the balance is it's pretty much near perfect now. Back looks thicker. Everything looks good. I remember it looks like again that the hams match more now than everything. So obviously that's good enough.
I'm really happy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It takes a long time to catch up with the old quads. No, I thought everything looked good. I mean, I like the way you're hitting everything. The side chest is a little different now. How you like do your hands too? That's a little different. I like it. It looks good. Everything's all closed up.
Yeah, because I was trying different things and like, at first I was grabbing a little bit higher.
Yeah.
I noticed that when I bring my arm back too far,
Yeah.
it makes my arm look weird.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I need to be more like here compared to there.
Yeah. No, look good.
So
I like that. It's a little bit different. So we didn't have any of that going on. And I think you're double bicep again.
it's light works so much.
Yeah.
But I have definitely standing up a lot more straight.
Yeah. No, it looks good. You guys didn't rotate as far as you can? I think it looks better. It's the max out that every time. Yeah. These, maybe if we train, I'll have you get that some lighter lighting too. That's the only thing I want to see feel. It's like, I think it still looked a little bit better, like, just cranking that base almost as far as it goes. I think it worked, because you got pretty good range, so I think if you took it any further, it might be too much, but like when you're setting that, just like, just crank it as far as you can go. It should be the right spot. And the only thing I want to see maybe is like the same thing, we've always messed around with this. It might be perfect, but I kind of like the idea of just seeing like what it would look like pulling just your shoulder blades down a little bit. It's like staying tall, so not crunching at all, but like up tall. And then when you're set, just the isolated, depression of your shoulder blades a little bit. But it looks good. I wouldn't change a whole lot. I'm just curious if that looks like.
Let's see.
The lighting does create a little bit of shadow on your lap, so you can see exactly what. I think that looks really good. That just gets a little bit more pop out of your lap, just a teeny bit. Okay, now, because you can kind of see like your upper insertion of your lap right across below your shoulder blade. And when you hit that, you can actually see your lats a little bit more. Okay. You know what I mean? Because when you're too crunched over and you pull that down, it just crunches more stuff. You know what I mean? But when you're up nice and tall and you pull it down, it does just show a little more detail without losing it.
Yeah, the bigger, the easiest way for me to visualize it was the pictures I sent you the other day.
Yeah.
When like from the stage shot, I think New York,
Yeah.
versus like whatever shot I sent practicing,
Yeah.
just like completely different in terms of.
Oh yeah. No, that's great. I really like the way you're hitting it. Because that's like your back, you just, like that's half of it. That's the good thing always, like I say every single time, really take your time on those transitions. Because your back's so damn thick now too. It's like obviously that's the only downside of classic. I mean your rear, when you hear your rear relaxed, obviously that shows a lot of that. So of course you're gonna see that in quarter turns. That's like the only downside, like your lat spread, just hit a lat spread just for me to see. But I'm just thinking, you got so much like, yeah, it's the rear lat spread. Because that's the thing is on your transitions, you can see how much thicker, because your traps look thicker, everything looks thicker. So, and you don't really get to show how much, and just because you hit that shot, it just looks great. So that's why I would say taking time on your transitions too. Because like when you hit that, like it's like, reminds me of the Ronnie Coleman, before he hits that. It's more famous than even his back shots, it's his transition. And so show all that back there, because it looks great. The only other thing I thought you were going to do a little bit more, and maybe it's like when you were hitting, I can't even do it because it's smooth and cool, but when you like transition into your ab and thigh, I was like, because you're kind of coming like from a little bit of a side bend to here, I thought you might like hit the obliques just a little harder, because then you hit it perfectly straight on then, when you actually hit the pose. And I would think maybe as you just transition from the side, just hit that side and then straight on, I don't know. Yeah, maybe something like that. I like that.
Yeah, you do that.
You just mess around with it. Because that's the only thing I always think, like on your, obviously how your physique is with the lights and with the oil. The only things that never wash out of it are your abs and your quads a little bit. So anytime you can, hit anything that just shows some more there, because your obliques are in, obviously more on show day. I just like it when you hit that.